What is up, everybody? Happy Monday. I'm coming to you from my office with my new dry erase board, and I was thinking about something this morning that I think is incredibly valuable for you guys to really think about. I had a new coaching client that just started today, and so it's, I love when a new client comes in because they have fresh eyes, fresh perspectives, fresh thoughts, and so we talked about a ton of stuff, but after the call, I was just reflecting back on, the way I do video, how I do video, what makes it good, how is that then scalable for you guys. And here's one of the new things that I've been doing that I believe is powerful to the ability to get content to work for us, video content specifically. Most of us, this is against everything we are. Like, for most of us, we don't desire the spotlight. We don't want people to be looking at us all the time. Like, we just want to live our lives. We just want to do our jobs. We just want to get things done. And unfortunately, that's not the world we live in anymore. We live in this content-rich environment where we have to begin to make things happen. Otherwise, we will be forgotten by everyone. And even though we may be better, we'll be passed over by those that are inferior, but they're more top of mind. And so one of the things that I've done lately is I went and I pulled this thing. As crazy as this sounds, this has sat in a box for like a year. This is a great camera. I spent a lot of money on this setup probably 2 years ago, and I stopped using it. And so here's what I'm now doing, and you don't need another camera. I have the ability to use both, but here's what I've started doing. Last week I recorded, I think, 5 videos on this, of which I've only posted 1 so far. And so what I'm doing is I am just trying to force myself into content creation mode. I know that I have to do this. And I know some people don't believe me. I hate doing this stuff. I really do. I would rather sit at my desk, do my work, get things done, but I have to do this stuff. And so what I found is if you will get into the habit of practicing, you will instantly get better at content, and over time, you will get drastically better. And so here's what I want to encourage you with. I want to give you guys, I figure, like, why do I have these magnets? I'm going to use them as bullet points. So I want to give you guys 4 quick things we can be doing from a content perspective, as well as 4 whys as to why this even matters. Right? Why does this even matter? It matters a lot. Right? Gary Vee, before I get into this, Gary Vee, on a podcast a few months back, he said, why do we let the opinions of others keep us from our personal happiness? Guys, why? Why do we let what we think someone would think of us on here, right? Why do I let what any of your opinions of me could be, why would I let that have an impact in my own personal happiness? If we know that content is king, if we know that content is what turns the dial, if we know that the more we're out there, the more top of mind we are, which means the more opportunity to grow, if we already know all of those things, why do we let the opinions of others keep us from personal happiness? It's crazy. So, with this being said, all right, let's talk about 4 quick things we can do for content real quick. And I wrote them down. I've got notes over here, so I'm not just totally winging it. The first thing we need to be thinking about is, am I doing content that's teachable? Am I putting out teachable content? Am I giving myself opportunities to teach? Because when we get the opportunity to teach, we've now been given the opportunity to have influence. And when we begin to create influence in people's lives, they start paying attention, which means the more they pay attention, the more likely they will be to ultimately buy what I have to offer or show me to someone else who will buy what I have to offer. So we've got to be asking ourselves, is what we're talking about teachable? But let's not overthink this. Guys, I've shown you my bookcase. I have tons of books that I will pick aspects of and do videos on them. No one cares that that's not necessarily an original idea from me. They heard it from me, which means I'm going to get credit. And so we can teach through the content of a book, the content of a training course, right? If you're doing a training course that you spent $1,500 on, what if you were just doing videos talking through what you're learning? And number one, you're showing people how committed you are to your craft, which positions you in the right light. But now you're also creating value and positioning yourself as a blank word that I'm going to show you last that is super important. So we've got to be creating content that allows for teachable moments. We've got to create teachable moments. The second type of content we need to be doing is this right here. Behind the scenes. We live in a nosy world. We live in a world where we can see over our neighbor's fence. We know when they get a new car. We know when our best friend from high school buys a new house and puts it on Facebook. And we begin to go, well, how that happened? What are they doing? Guys, I've been getting a lot of calls. In fact, I just had a buddy reach out to me Friday that asked me to mentor him because he's watching what I'm doing on social media and something that I'm doing, he believes that he needs to do better and he wants my help. And so people are going, bro, what are you doing? What's making this happen? My buddy Mark Perkins just jumped on from Pivot Realty in the Cincinnati, Ohio, Northern Kentucky part of the country. And people are going to be wondering from him, man, what is causing Pivot to do what it's doing? What is this? What's the secret sauce? Guys, we've got to start exposing the behind the scenes to people. This is important. We've got to let people in on the way we think, the way we process, the way we articulate, the way we plan, the way we create, because most people can't figure that out on their own. So when you give them behind the scenes opportunities, they love it. Set up a camera and record one of your meetings and post it on social, right? Go behind the scenes while you have a photographer in the new listing and talk about the way you're positioning certain things based on the picture you want, the angle you want, right? Give people behind the scenes access. The third thing is this, and I talk about this a lot, but it's interviews. It's interviews. Who do you need to be interviewing? It might be a friend that you do a monthly show with. It might be local restaurant owners. It might be local business owners that you spotlight. Who do you want to share the stage with? Who around you has value to offer that you can extract from them and give away to your audience? Because it's powerful when we do this. I'm not going to do this right now because I already broke this down in my top of mind selling group. But I believe that interviews are the keys to the kingdom when it comes to growing your sphere. Nothing grows your sphere faster than doing an interview with the right people. So you need to be doing interviews. And guys, again, as a reminder, for those of you that didn't jump in from the beginning, what I'm talking about is practice, right? The whole point of this is this right here. Practice. If you're worried about video, if you're concerned with video, if you're not good at video, if you think you suck at video, right? The answer is probably true. Yes, you do suck. But only because you're not good at it yet. And the only way to get good at anything is to practice. We've got to be putting in the work. So what I'm giving you with teachable behind the scenes interviews, guys, these are all things that you can record. And if you don't use them, then you don't use them. But don't not do anything because of your fear of being out in front of people. Because of your fear, you don't know what to say. You don't know how they'll respond. I have clients all the time that record their video, text it to me, and literally say, I hate it, it's terrible. And I watch it and tell them it's awesome. And guess what? Whose opinion matters most? Yours or the people you hope to eventually sell to? Theirs does. Who gives a crap if you don't like the way you look in video? Who cares? If the people you hope to serve don't care or do like it, go with it. Quit being your own worst enemy. You guys are destroying your own businesses from the inside out, and you don't even realize it. So interviews are big. And then the last content is this right here. You have to become the expert. You've got to become the expert. The expert of what? Anything. Guys, I've become an expert of content creation. Why? For no other reason than I talk about content creation all the time, which means that positions me as an expert, right? If every day I started doing videos about the NBA, over time I would become known as an expert of the NBA. I would probably have people reaching out to me wanting me to do interviews on certain things because of my knowledge of NBA basketball. This is how we become the expert, by talking about it regularly. Guys, I'm telling you, it's not that hard. But let's talk about the why, because this is really what matters. It does not matter what I ask you to do. It doesn't matter. You will not do it if you do not believe in the why behind the what, right? It will never happen for any of us. And so let's talk about 4 whys real quick. The first why is improvement. Seriously, guys, how are you going to get better at something that you never do? How do you get better at something that you never do? It's not possible. I didn't get to become a better parent before I became a parent. It kind of happens in the moment, right? You learn as you go. I'm a better husband, hopefully 10 years in than I was in year 1. I'm a better business owner now in year 7 than I was in year 1 because of improvement. This is why there's so many games in a season, so that by the time the playoffs come, everybody's ready to go. Everybody's ready to compete. And so you've got to realize that this is a long-term commitment to our development. We've got to jump in and start going. We've got to. So improvement is huge. The other thing, the second thing, is routine. Guys, I've been doing what I've coined the 75 hard-ish challenge, right? Because I'm not perfect. I'm messing up. I'm making mistakes. But guys, I've worked out more in the month of January than I worked out in the entire year of 2019. I think I've worked out 18 of 20 days so far, with like half of those days getting 2 workouts. And so you talk about routine. Guys, working out is becoming a routine for me because I'm almost 3 weeks in. So why am I using this camera to just record videos when I think about it? Because I'm trying to continually create a content routine. You've got to get in the routine of producing content, because if you don't, you'll look up and it'll be a week and you'll go, oh man, I didn't even do a video this week. I got to be better next week. And then it'll be 2 weeks and you'll go, oh man, dang it, I meant to do a video, but I got busy. And then it'll be 3 and 4 and 2 months and 3 months. We've got to create habit and routine when it comes to creating content. So take the fear away and start recording videos that you give yourself permission not to use. Get in the habit of doing it. And don't delete them, right? Keep them, because some of those videos that you didn't like a year from now, when you're more confident, they'll still be relevant. And you'll still have good content to pull from. So we've got to create routine. Guys, the third why is simple. It's a numbers game. We've got to play the odds, right? I was watching an episode of Hot Ones on Facebook when I was eating lunch earlier, and I was watching the Gary Vee episode, And Gary Vee was talking about what's so cool about the music industry is that those people are one song away from making it. They're one song away from making it, which is super cool. And as I was listening to that, I started thinking, you know what? Honestly, like I'm one video away from making it, right? I'm one video away from the right person seeing it and inviting me to the right stage that exposes me to the right amount of people. I'm one video away, and so are you. But guess what? You're not getting closer by not doing anything. You're just sitting still, right? And you're not even sitting still, you're going backwards. You're regressing instead of progressing. And so, man, I want to play the odds. I want to play the odds. I know that if I keep producing content, someone somewhere is going to see the one that I crush out of the park, right? Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's this video. Maybe someone sees it. Maybe Tony Robbins sees this and he invites me to something, right? We have no idea. So we've got to play the odds. And if we want to play the odds, we've got to put in the work. And then the last thing, guys, is this. It provides us data. I'll never forget 2 years ago, I love sports. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to start doing a Facebook Live video where I predict the scores of all the NFL games every week. And then I'm going to save the Cowboys game for last. And I was super pumped about it. I created a logo, right? I branded it and I did it and it was terrible. And I did it again, and it was terrible. And I did it again, and it was less terrible, but nobody was paying attention. And guys, what I quickly realized is that it didn't matter how excited I was about it. None of you cared. But I would have never known that if I had not gone and done the work. So I canned that after about 8 weeks. I canned it because those videos were getting like 30 views, 40 views, 50 views, when other things I was doing was in the hundreds and thousands. And so data, guys, is a big deal to this. The only way to know what our people want is to begin to put things in front of them, right? Your audience are our babies. The same way that we would give our babies all the different variety of baby foods. And then they would tell us the ones that they didn't like based on spitting them out. We've got to give our people the opportunity to digest our content and spit it out if they want to. And then we've got to not take it personal and then be able to ebb and flow based on what that data is telling us. Guys, look around you right now. If you are doing some video content that, if you're being honest, no one's paying attention to, why are you still doing it that way? Change it up. Switch it up. Do something different. We've got to follow the data. And so, guys, I'm telling you, you cannot any longer, you cannot sit by and not be producing content. You can't do it. You cannot do it. It is only getting more valuable to what we're trying to accomplish. And so start practicing. You know what? If you need to, make a private Facebook group for you and some of your friends where you practice videos, or where you record videos, right? Do whatever you have to do. Do not wait to lose weight. Do not wait to be smarter. Do not wait to sound different. Do not wait until you have the right equipment. Do not wait until your confidence shows up. It is not coming. Get in there and do the work. That's it. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys. If y'all have questions, if y'all have thoughts, hit me up. I'm happy to help. But this is what I'm passionate about, and this is why I'm doing this for you guys. So wherever you're stuck, let me help you get unstuck. Shoot me a message. I'll text you for accountability, right? This matters. I love you guys. I hope you all have a great rest of your Monday. I'll see you real soon. Bye.